Hello, this is Walter Tavernarakis. I'm going to give you a demo on how to create your own prerequisites with InstallShield. I have a simple installation here, which has two features, a server feature and a client feature. So there's some software that's going to install on the server and some software that's going to install on the client. And the client software needs C display, is the application called, which is an image viewing software. So let me see how I can create my own prerequisite from C display, which is not a standard prerequisite, and add it to my installation. After that, I only wanted to install when the client feature is installed, because prerequisites normally would install prior to the installation. So you do need to have a setup.exe to run them. An MSI won't do it, but you can also choose to install a prerequisite after feature selection, which is what I'm going to do, because I only wanted to install on the machines where the client feature is going to install. So what I'm going to do is select Tools and start the prerequisite editor. This is prerequisite editor. I'm going to give it a good name so I can find it easily. Save. And oops, that wasn't a good name. File, save as. So I'm going to name it C display, because that's the application name 2.0. I'm going to save it in the prerequisites folder of InstallShield. Now, files to include. Prior to doing this step, I would like to prepare my environment a little bit. So what I'm going to do is go into the prerequisites folder of InstallShield. That's an InstallShield 2013 setup prerequisite for the 2013 version. And I'm going to copy a folder with the software to install this application. Right click. Yeah, right click, paste. So there's my software. Now I can go back to my prerequisite editor and browse to that file. So C display 2.0, there's the setup. You could add a URL to download the installation software from your own website, and you can upload your software there. That's an easy way to also provide your clients with the software in case they lose the setup. Once you've done the files to include step, you go to applications to run step and you select the setup, and you need to give it a command line. A setup can run both silent and full UI, and I mean the setup which will actually run this prerequisite, so the InstallShield setup. So what I'm going to do is give it a command line to run the C display installation silently, whether it's full UI or whether it is a silent mode. Once I've done that, it's important to add a condition. You need to add a condition which will, let's say, prove, which will allow the installation to go on prior to the installation, and it will be satisfied at the end of the installation. So it has to be a registry key that your installation sets, for example. So let me do that. So I will work with registry values, and if you select a registry entry has a specific value, I will then show you which registry entry we're interested in. This could be a registry entry that this application sets, for example, HKey local machine software display, with a value of version being 2. So we would only like to install when this registry key and this value has the data 2.0, but the data has to be less than the specified data. So on the machine, if we have less than 2.0, so let's say 1.5 or 1.0, only then we want to run this prerequisite. If the data is higher, we don't want to run this prerequisite because we know that there's a higher version of C display on the machine. So this is a condition which will allow the installation to happen. And what you need to do is decide what to do after the installation, because the condition is going to be tested a second time. And if it indicates that it's still required, so if it doesn't get satisfied the condition, you can ask whether to continue the setup, abort the setup, or ask whether to continue the setup. So you'll give the user an option. Let's say that this is an application which is essential to our software to work, for our software to work, then I would say abort the setup if it's not found. So if the installation doesn't work, we will abort the setup. Okay, once you've done that, you can go to redistributables, and let's see, there's a nice refresh button you can select here. And if you search for C display, there you see my prerequisite is available. So if I select it, by default it installs before feature selection, but as I said earlier, we only want it to install if the client feature has been selected. Okay, that's how you create your own setup prerequisite and add it to your installation. Thank you for watching this video.
Do you want to know more about our services and products? Please visit our website or click the link in the description. Check out our YouTube channel for other tutorials and demos. Don't forget to subscribe and get updates on our latest videos.